Investor expectations are quite high in terms of the promises that are going to be made at this event.
My sense is that expectations are pretty low, and I think there may be some sort of wow moment when at the event where they show that they can leverage this massive AI infrastructure they're building.
All that and more. So let's get to it. Tesla stock is up in the pre-market almost 1%, currently sitting at 243. There's been some incredible selling pressure over the past week as Tesla's down over 7%. As we approach the 10/10 event, it would appear the hype train is dying down.
It's a big week for Elon Musk. Tesla is hosting its long-awaited Robotaxi event on Thursday. The build-up to the event has sent shares of the EV maker higher in recent weeks, following a general slowdown in EV demand seen earlier this year. So, are you expecting a boom or bust when they make these announcements this week?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that binary, but we do expect it's more likely to be a sell the news event. I think there's been a lot of hype into this event. We've seen the stock move up. Investor expectations are quite high in terms of the promises that are going to be made at this event and the products that are going to be shown. So I think ultimately there are a lot of boxes that have to be checked, and we think that a real credible path to robotaxi commercialization in the next 12 to 24 months is extremely unlikely to come out of this event.
It warms my heart every time they say things like that. Meanwhile, FSD is just going end to end on the highway, no big deal here. Early FSD beta testers are now on FSD 12.5.6. At the rate that these updates are hitting consumers, it'll make your head spin.
The skeptics keep bringing up that this is taking place on a closed road, a closed course, on a movie studio lot. How much promise do you see in real-world delivery of either data or demonstrations?
The skeptics are right to be skeptical in the short term. There's something that Tesla has to deliver to safely have vehicles, autonomous vehicles on the road without a driver. And that's something called mean time between failure. And companies are trying to get to something that's equivalent to 10 to the 7th power, which is better than a human driver. And because Tesla's taken a controversial approach with just a camera and a massive AI infrastructure, people, including ourselves, are skeptical that they can make that happen in the near term. Over the long term, we'll see there are competing companies like Mobileye who are trying to enable vehicles to get to that mean time between failure, and also an autonomous trucking company called Aurora that's trying to get there, but they take different approaches. They're using multiple sensors, and Tesla's decided to use just a camera, which is interesting. We don't think they'll get there in the near term, but I think most people expect that.
All of these vague terms. What the hell is near term? 3 years? 5 years? I mean, my understanding of how the pace of technology moves, particularly artificial intelligence, leaves something to be desired. I get that. When Tesla unveils unsupervised FSD, it's still going to be misunderstood by not only the financial news media, but the stock market as well. Admittedly, I don't know when that will occur. 6 months from now? A year from now? 10 years from now? But I know one thing. There is no other company on Earth that is even close to a generalized autonomous solution. Another company would have to swim the amount of the Pacific Ocean in data in order to get where Tesla is right now. And guess what, folks? Tesla ain't standing still.
Do you have any sense as to how the stock may trade going in and out of this event?
It's a great question. I mean, look, my sense is that expectations are pretty low, and I think there may be some sort of wow moment when at the event where they show that they can leverage this massive AI infrastructure they're building to animate and give life to robots. Because the title of the event is called We Robot, and that obviously doesn't just include Robotaxi. So I expect that they'll show that all the NVIDIA chips that they're buying, these massive data centers that they're building, they're going to use that to enable a robot army of workers as well.
Me? My expectations are muted. I expect to see another vehicle, and I expect to be entertained. That's about it. What the stock will do, I don't care. If it goes up, great. If it goes down, I'm ready to buy more shares of TSLA if needed.
Is there regulatory risk to worry about here with this future?
I think, well, from an autonomous driving perspective, certainly, because I think that over time, as regulators dig into the algorithms that enable the autonomous vehicles, they're going to want to know exactly why cars made decisions that they're making. So when you have a massive AI infrastructure that doesn't have software, hard-coded software rules like other companies are trying to follow, and God forbid there's an accident, well, they're going to want to know, well, why did the car make this decision or that decision? And based on, at least what we can tell, based on the infrastructure and the software and the AI that Tesla's building, it's very hard to know why their version of Robotaxi made decisions that it's making. Now, other companies that we mentioned, Mobileye and Aurora, there are hard-coded software rules that let regulators and people know, well, if a company did this, if a car did this or that, they can understand the decision-making of the vehicle.
I'm calling it, folks. I'm calling it. That's bullshit. The regulators, all they're going to want to know is, does this thing save lives? God forbid, if there's an accident. It will be sad, it will be unfortunate, but if its accident rate is 90% fewer than what we're experiencing right now, I don't know about you guys, but that's a win. We're not going to be able to eliminate all accidents. We're just trying to reduce that number greatly. Wanting to be able to understand what the AI is thinking in that moment when it causes an accident, that is fair and understandable, but it'd be like trying to crack into the mind of someone that was in an accident that didn't live. Even if they did live, understanding why a human chose to make a mistake, more times than not, it was because it was distracted, or because it was drunk, or because it was tired. Eliminating these circumstances with artificial intelligence makes the juice well worth the squeeze.
Hey, finally, George, we always like to ask what portion of your price target on Tesla accounts for just the core auto business?
It's a great question. So what we've done with our model so far is we assume that there's going to be a ton of margin improvement over the next several years, 4 to 5 years. And that's based on people adopting full self-driving on traditional Tesla vehicles at an increasing rate.
Ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Your mother right. Even without the Robotaxi, even without Optimus, the energy division, many analysts are underestimating Tesla's value in their true automotive business, neglecting the software margins that will inevitably become standard on every vehicle. Once FSD is feature complete, that is.
That's going to significantly help margins over the next 3, 4, 5 years. In addition, in terms of Robotaxi and robots, we don't have a lot built in right now because, frankly, we don't know when this stuff's going to hit the road. We're pretty skeptical in the near term that Tesla could have a robot or a Robotaxi army, call it in 2 or 3 years. It's probably going to be later in the decade and in the 2030s. And our model goes up into 2030. Just for now, we're building in increasing FSD take rates and a reacceleration of their auto business.
In conclusion, regardless of what you think about the Robotaxi event, it's must-see TV, folks. Congratulations to anyone that's going to be there in person. I have no idea what to expect, with the exception of a good time. This event stands to be exciting as the Cybertruck unveil, and more important than the Model 3 unveil. And while nobody thinks that a Tesla Robotaxi is in the near term, 2, 3+ years out, a legion of robot workers, that's 2030 talk, right? Well, the pace of technology doesn't seem to be slowing anytime soon. Maybe, just maybe, this might happen sooner than most people think. That's all I've got for you today. Be easy. Peace.